Wow.
Yes, I got mine on silent.
Mm-hmm.
So, DJ Jordan, welcome back.
Thank you.
Welcome back. Look, it's been a long time since we've had you here on the show.
Absolutely.
To talk with us about health and wellness and about detoxing and cleaning from the inside out.
Yep.
I do got something I want to tell you.
Okay.
Because, the breastfeeding phase really took it hard on me. So, yo-yo dieting, thyroid problems and stuff like that. And, you know what I'm saying? I was taking the olive leaf. It was really helping a lot, especially with, never developed the blood pressure problems or anything.
Right.
I was high risk. But since I've been vegan now,
okay,
like I'm talking about plant-based, like
that's what's
vegan, no animal products, none. Okay, cooking vegan. Sade's over the house eating vegan food all the time. She don't need to, but she needs to. But you know what I'm saying,
right?
She look good.
She liking it.
But yes, I'm back. I just feel it feels amazing. And top it off with like your moringa. This is my favorite product. I haven't ordered this in a minute though because I put it in my smoothies, the gel. But this I just keep in my purse and I shoot it.
Right.
I don't even need water for it. People are like, how do you do it? And I'm like, I'm so used to it. It's just like eating, greens and stuff. So I'm glad to have you back here on the show.
Well, it's a pleasure to be back. I know it's been right at 2 years.
Yes.
And a lot has changed. A lot has transpired over the last 24 months. The world is in a different place, for a lot of reasons. And so I just felt like it was time for me to come back. Coming back this time, it really feels like family. You know what I mean? So I know the first time I was here, it was like, okay, you're kind of feeling it and, you used to watching on YouTube, but how is the conversation going to be in person?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
They loved you the last time you were
I
here.
definitely appreciate it, and I love doing it.
And you know what they love too?
What's that?
They get their shit on time.
Right. Yeah. And that's one thing from a business perspective that I pride the company on because we manufacture ourselves. And the last thing I want to do is have to delay product for customers who really need it, who have been able to transition off of the medication, right, and just take the olive leaf. I mean, if I was to tell you how many people we've been able to help get off of the big three medication, meaning high blood pressure, cholesterol, and diabetes medication, it would blow your mind.
I get emails all the time. I think if you were your presence was more on social media, they'll probably be calling you the next Dr. Sebi. I'm serious.
And it's a reason why I don't really expose myself like that. And things that have happened over the last year and a half has proven why I made the right decision. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But in terms of Dr. Sebi, now I understand even more why his presence was so important. Because I cannot imagine us going through this pandemic over the last year and he being here in the physical and not using his platform, his knowledge, his gift to really change the entire way we process information around our personal health.
Yeah.
So because there's so much misinformation, ignorance to a certain extent on how our bodies operate, those entities, those powers out there are able to take advantage of what we don't know and get us to do things that are not consistent with our health and well-being. You know what I mean? And it's unfortunate, but that's why I'm here, so we can have the conversation.
I love that you live what it is that you do. So like, I don't even think you see this as a job because it's not a job. This is like your life.
Not at all.
This is like your life's work. Like
right.
Like how I get up and talk and entertain and enlighten and stuff like that. I do that second nature.
Right.
Although me and you did discuss I am an introvert, but when it's time for me to turn on, it's time. I conserve my energy because a lot of times being in spaces like this, of course, people can be energy vampires, and I don't want to waste good energy on situations that don't help to further me or help further people. And so I love that you and your entire family has dedicated their lives to this. And not only do you produce it, but you live it. And I've always wanted to have you and a lot of the people who are taking the olive leaf here, and we're gonna arrange how we're going to set that up so that people can come in and really explain how their life is transformed, because you don't see a lot of the reviews online.
Right.
You know? But not only are you and your entire family are vegan, right? But paired with the olive leaf extract, the moringa, you won't need to go to the doctor at all.
No, and that's to your point in terms of the lifestyle, because health has to be a lifestyle. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So it has to move from something as a corrective thing to a preventive to an overall lifestyle that helps your quality of life, that enhances your quality of life, right? Mm-hmm. And so the foods that we eat, that's our first pharmacist. The foods that we eat. That's why we're always promoting a plant-based diet, a diet high in fruit and vegetables, plenty of water, sunlight, rest, relaxation, positive, healthy relationships that goes into the overall well-being of a person, right? Mm-hmm. But if there is an issue, then we have the supplements that can help correct that until you can get on a full plant-based diet. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. So plant-based wellness is always the end goal. The supplement is just to help get you there.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm sorry. This plant-based diet and I'm fasting has me kind of all over the place right now, but I'm going to zone back in here in just a second. But I don't think people understand like how powerful your products are. During COVID, right? Mm-hmm. That was probably your busiest time.
Absolutely.
I had so many calls during this time. Listen, I know this is not a cure for COVID, but I want something that's going to help my immune system to kind of go into overdrive. Right. So when I'm fighting this, I remember there was she was like 88 years old. Mm-hmm. Her daughter called me. She said, my mom is in ICU. I need to get her the olive leaf. I just ordered the olive leaf for myself. I had COVID as well, but my mom went in the hospital on a ventilator. She managed to get in there to sneak her mom.
I remember.
Remember?
Out of California.
Yes, to sneak her mom some olive leaf. Her mom is home right now.
Right now.
Absolutely. She says, Tasha, if I wouldn't have never got in there, I don't think my mom would have came home.
And Tasha, I'm telling you, that story, I was literally hearing that day in and day out during the height of COVID. And it let me know, and it's not that I didn't know before, but it just kind of, re-engineered the perspective as to why the work that we do is so important. Now, remember, back then, there was no vaccine, right?
No.
And so people were
There was not a vaccine when she called. I'll never forget. And I'm gonna ask her. I'm gonna go through my emails and I'm gonna get her number and I'm gonna ask her for her and her mom to do an actual review on your product.
Absolutely.
Hands down.
Yeah, absolutely. So back then, and I appreciate it, there was no quote unquote vaccine. So people were just simply being told to stay inside, socially distance, and mask up. Right?
Yeah.
And that's not going to get it, because if you're exposed to a virus, the most effective thing that you can do is to put the things in you that actually help your immune system fight off naturally what the body is exposed to.
I agree.
And so my main critique of how this whole thing around COVID, in terms of the corrective side of it, was rolled out was that there was no dietary guidelines. Fauci or whoever never explained to people the foods that they should eat, right, to keep their immune system healthy. It was just simply stay inside and wait on us to develop a vaccine. You see what I'm saying? So when people would call, because, the fear was up there. You know what I mean? People calling, family members getting sick with COVID, some people actually passing away as a result of COVID.
Yeah.
And when I took the time to really explain to them, no, there are ways on the front end to keep your immune system healthy, they were so grateful for the information because they had nowhere else to turn to. You see, you didn't hear this information on mainstream media.
And it was a lot of
what
mass
you could take
hysteria.
as a preventive side. You know what I mean? And even if you got sick or tested positive, because we helped so many people that had tested positive, I was shipping bottles express overnight like that. Getting bottles in people's hands, getting products in people's hands, and explaining to them how to take olive leaf extract to even combat all of the symptoms related to COVID.
Before we get into the chemical compounds of olive leaf and how powerful it is, because everybody's on the Mediterranean diet, which the Mediterranean diet is primarily plant-based, and they do have some fish and things like that.
Right.
But I don't think people understand, like, when we have these pandemics, when we have flu, when we have swine flu, COVID, coronavirus colds.
Right.
I know people who have never had a cold in their life, and they're vegan.
Right. Absolutely.
Because these viruses come from eating animals. Now,
Absolutely.
the reason I wanted you here is to really talk about, how just eating animals contributes to a lot of the sicknesses that we have. Cholesterol. Diabetes, thyroid,
disease.
kidney, prostate cancer.
All
you know what I'm
saying?
COVID-19.
Right.
If people don't, when you think of flu, when you think of H1N1, coronavirus is just
the cousin of it.
It's the cousin.
Right.
And why? We're mass producing these animals for us to eat who are sick and who they are still chopping up. Yep. And we're cooking this food and inserting it when an animal is dead. It's like eating a dead corpse.
That's exactly what it is. And so one of the things that, being that you're new to the plant-based journey, right? And so
I'm not new. I was raised plant-based.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that.
Yes, but when I got pregnant with my son, I literally start craving steaks out of nowhere.
Okay, so
instead of my doctors giving me like a B12 or my iron was okay, but I think my B12 levels were off because I was sick the entire time. Literally, I was at Longhorn 3 times a day.
Wow.
Not understanding. And I'm the one, I can't even touch a steak. I can't smell a steak. Even my husband was like, what the? You don't even, I know.
Your body was craving that.
It was craving it. So I do think there's something scientifically that goes on.
Yeah, like, chemical imbalance. Yeah. Right, like that causes us to crave certain things.
Yeah, and so that's the reason why. But now that I'm done breastfeeding, my hormones are returning back to normal. Good. I can't even stand the smell of it again. I'm like, don't bring it in the house. I understand y'all eat that, but I don't want it. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, I know people who have been plant-based their whole life and who have never gotten sick.
Never gotten sick. And so now this is where I fall back on the teachings of Dr. Sebi, because what he explained to us is that mucus is the primary cause of all of the issues that we experience on a health perspective, right? And so when we consume meat, and this is one of the most important things that I want to share with the audience, when we consume meat, the meat is actually deteriorating in our digestive system. So it's heating the digestive system up, which triggers a mucus response, because in the body, mucus is like antifreeze in a car. Mucus is designed to keep the body cool. But when we eat meat, it overproduces mucus because the body is actually running a fever. You see? And so people who consume a lot of animal protein, they wake up in the morning. You see what I'm saying? That is a clear indication.
That story of my life for 3 years straight. I mean?
That's a clear indication that your body is producing a tremendous amount of mucus in your sleep, because that's where most digestion happens, while we're resting. You see? And so the body is overheating, which triggers the mucus response, and then we wake up with mucus all in our chest, in our nasal pad.
And everybody say, it's just allergies. It's just my sinuses. No, it's your diet.
It's your diet. And the way that you know that is, and this is why we recommend going on the 7-day detox. Yeah. When you eliminate
using the olive leaf.
Using the olive leaf extract.
I use the maximum formula. Okay. Right. He has the original. For people who may think it's a little too strong, I prefer the maximum, and I actually take this one. Look, I'm gonna take it right here.
Nah, it's all good.
You don't mind?
No, not at all.
Okay, I'm gonna take it because I ain't had my shot today. So listen.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, it's in my purse. But go ahead.
So when a person goes through the 7-day detox and they eliminate the meat, what that is designed to do is allow the digestive system give it a break, because it no longer has to process that animal protein. Fruits and vegetables complement the digestive system. Animal protein, it causes tremendous issues with the digestive system. So giving that system a break allows our immune system now time to kind of reboot itself. And so what we find is people who go through the 7-day detox, even though the first 2-3 days is difficult because they're cleansing, they come out of it feeling like a totally different person, right?
See, I'm fasting right now. That's why I kind of lost my train of thought, because like I'm on day 2, and I usually do a fast every month.
Right.
For like, I'm talking about a full 24 hours, and then I'll do intermittent fasting, and then a full 24 hours. And so I'm doing that to do a detox, to give my to recorrect. To build up. Exactly. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And it just helps stuff like this when you get the right herbs and stuff to kind of help, you know what I'm saying, your cells to do what they do. I'm not a doctor. Right. I'm not going to sit here and pretend and talk like I'm one, but I'm telling you.
But you know what it does for you.
I know what it does. That's why I'm about to take it right now.
Yeah, look, you know what it does for you. And so as a person goes through the detox, their body now no longer has to process the animal protein, so there's no reason for the body to produce the mucus.
Hold on, y'all. Hold on. Look. That's all I do.
Now
right there.
You don't drink water behind it?
I do drink water behind it, but I tell people I don't need to put it in that. Some people want to put it in apple juice.
Yeah, you kind of.
No, I'm gangster. You don't do it like that?
Because I do the maximum formula too. But people email us every day. Is there anything that you can do to change the taste? And I'll be like, well, the main issues that we suffer from in our community is high blood pressure, cholesterol, and diabetes. We tend not to recommend mixing the olive leaf with anything other than water because we don't oftentimes know if a person is diabetic, pre-diabetic, or what have you. So we don't want to recommend anything that tends to contain, sugar, right? And so just get it down. But the beautiful part about it, and I wanted to mention this to you as well, if you take the olive leaf extract and you have issues with your gums, right? Let's just say you have some gum issues. Gargle with it like a mouthwash first before you even swallow it to help with high blood pressure. Gargle with it first. Run it, swish it around in your mouth and then swallow it.
I didn't even know you were supposed to do that.
It can help with gingivitis, all of those type because it's a antiviral, antifungal, and antibacterial herb. So it functions on all three levels.
While you're talking, I'm going to pull up these tests that the National Institute of Health conducted using the olive leaf.
Right.
And I believe there was one test where they tested an entire football team during the flu season, during the cold season.
Right.
And they found that the National Institute of Health out of Alabama.
Right.
Okay, stuff they're not gonna tell you. When the placebo team they did like 2 and they did a placebo.
Blind study, right?
Yeah, the blind study. The team who took olive leaf did not get a cold.
Absolutely.
The entire time. Okay,
right. Yep.
Even with their diets staying the same. That's how powerful it was, right?
Yep.
What you're asking people to do is detox with it so that it really gets into your system and works overtime. That way you're not trying to, you're suffering from one thing and it takes you longer to heal.
Right.
So in the second team, everybody got sick.
And
this is actual published material.
Right.
Scientific research. But go ahead. Let me pull this up while you're talking.
And so there was that study, but then there was another study that was conducted around upper respiratory infection, acute upper respiratory infection that had the exact same symptoms as COVID-19. And that study found that a change in the diet, going through the detox and complementing that with olive leaf extract, people did not suffer with the upper respiratory infections that are synonymous with the fall and winter months. You see, because there's a lack of sunlight, we're not getting out as much. We tend to overeat a lot of the bad foods, and we're not getting the necessary nutrients that we need to keep the immune system robust. So there's no such thing as really flu season. There's a lack of sunlight and a poor diet season centered around the quote unquote holidays. You see, so we tend to overindulge in a lot of things during the fall and winter months. Couple that with the lack of sunlight or the lack of vitamin D that we as melanated people absolutely need, it causes our immune system to become depressed, you see, and we become now more susceptible to cold and disease. That's what that is about. So correcting that means that we have to change our diet. We have to change our diet, and that's why we always advocate for a diet high in fruits and vegetables, water, sunlight, rest, all of those different things.
You know what I love about being on a plant-based diet and detoxing and fasting? I don't have to count my calories.
Not at all.
I don't have to watch my weight.
No.
I don't have to worry about how I'm going to perform when I'm like, I may have like absent thought because, of course, my body is used to getting a certain amount of food. But the fasting is just so.
And it builds discipline.
Yes, it builds discipline.
Yeah.
And when I come off of a fast, like when I'm done with this at the end of the 5 day, I'm going to be so much better at what I do. I feel so much better. My thinking is sharp.
Exactly.
People don't know when you're fasting and you're detoxing and you're taking herbs, because I still take my vitamins and things during my fast, okay? Especially my olive leaf and things like that. I take liquid vitamin D because I'm in Georgia. We don't have a lot of sun. Yeah, you're rebuilding brain cells. You're
strengthening your bones, the whole nine.
Yeah, everything. Everything. And my doctors can't believe, like, you don't need no medicine, although you have on paper thyroid issues. Yeah, I corrected my thyroid.
Absolutely.
I did.
Absolutely. And so we get those calls with women that have, overactive or underactive thyroid. And in addition to the olive leaf extract, we always recommend sea moss as a natural way to help balance the thyroid as well.
Are you offering that now?
No, not yet, because we haven't been able to find a consistent supplier. And I'm a stickler for, if we carry something, we need to be able to have it year round. And so we just haven't been able to find a consistent supplier of sea moss. So we rather not, bring it on if we can't have it consistently, because we've helped so many of our clients change their lives due to having consistent products. So when a person is able to get off of medication and take olive leaf, the last thing they want to do is have to go back on the medication because we're out of stock or something.
Right.
You know what I mean? And so that's just kind of how we operate. But the beautiful part about it is, like I said, the olive leaf extract combined with the sea moss helps a tremendous amount of people that may have issues with overactive or underactive thyroid.
Yeah, and I remember when I started having postpartum thyroid issues, you were the first person that I called.
I remember that.
Because I remember my doctor was like, we're going to put you on, I think it's called methimazole or some stuff, just to correct it. And then I asked him, I said, so if I go on the medication, if I come off, well, your thyroid levels are going to go back out of whack. Right. So I don't want to do that. So I'm going to take the plant-based route, and they allowed me to do that simply because my son saved me. I was breastfeeding.
Right.
They said if I wasn't breastfeeding and my hormone levels were, already out of whack, they really couldn't give me any medication because it would have affected him.
Exactly. Yep.
So I made it my goal when I'm done breastfeeding, back to plant-based. And I literally did it. I started 3 weeks before I ended his breastfeeding. I'm 6 weeks in now. I feel absolutely amazing. I'm combining it with fast. He's doing good.
Wow.
I had just one conversation with him after I blasted him on social media. I was like, y'all help me. I can't do this.
Wow.
And I literally sat him down and I was like, no more. And I told his dad and his sister, I said, y'all have to support me. And they were like, okay. And ever since that day, he has never tried to be aggressive and take it.
See?
Never. Like I was like, oh, you smarter than you be acting.
Yeah, he just trying you.
Yeah, he was just trying me. I mean,
it's about
screaming,
those
flipping, just knocking stuff over.
Wow.
Never did it since that day.
See?
And my winos told me, Tasha, just tell him.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't
conversation.
I had a conversation, and we've been good ever since. Now, I still got probably about 3 to 4 more weeks before, my hormones level out. But for the most part, I feel great.
You feel
good. I feel great, especially coupled with, me, I'm calling you, but you always send it anyway.
Yeah,
so I ain't got to call.
Nah, not at all.
I look in the mailbox and
it's no good here, so it's definitely all
No,
good.
I like to pay for my stuff.
Yeah, but I like to send it to you without you paying. So
I'm a stickler for that. I like to.
I know you are.
I support Black business.
And that's the thing that a lot of people may not even know about you. Like,
our audience
that right there.
Listen, I sent it in another day. I'm like, my business.
Exactly. And I had to put the staff. I'm like, now if y'all see anything come with this name or this name, because I know she'll order under check too, send it back. Refuse it. You know what I mean? Send the product, but give it a refund. You know what I mean? But
no, you
it's
don't
all
have
good.
to do that. No, seriously, I'm happy to support. You guys have been partnered with us for many years, and so the one thing I don't want to do is feel entitled. This is a product that you are sourcing during one of the most difficult times there is, and so I just want to, it's by me giving you your flowers,
absolutely,
saying thank you for creating such an amazing product and making it available to our community, because a lot of times our community we don't have the Whole Foods in our neighborhoods. We just got a Sprouts.
And if we do, we can't afford it. You know what I mean? And that was the other point.
Hell, I can't even afford it.
Right, and that was the other point. Because, like I said, the Whole Foods is the only place you go and spend $150 and come out with one bag. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's just
Publix
it's like
is getting like that now.
You know what I mean? And so I want to offer this perspective because I think,
let me put this back here for now, even though you're
gonna... it's important that we understand value in terms of the community, right? So some people would look at the olive leaf extract and say, I can't afford that. But I always ask, how much do your kidneys cost? How much does your liver cost?
No, how much does that insulin medicine cost?
Like even before that, let's have that real conversation around value, because if it means that you have to go on dialysis, is it worth it?
No.
You see what I mean? Before I walked in, I was on the phone with the lady that is on dialysis since April, and I'm working with her to get off of dialysis, right? And she's 34 years old. Already experiencing end-stage renal failure.
How the hell she do that? Diabetes?
Well, she was borderline diabetes, but never took the time to really change her diet, and it began to deteriorate her kidneys. You see? And so a lot of the issues that we suffer with, we think it's just a part of getting older. 60% of people over 60 years old have issues with high blood pressure, diabetes, or both.
Yeah.
That's not necessary.
And I said my goal was by the time I'm 40, because I had my son at like 37, I said I will be vegan, and I will be vegan for the rest of my life. I've never had a problem with being vegan. I know when my husband and I first met, he was just like, well, what am I supposed to eat?
Right.
So I'm like, you're going to eat these vegetables that I'm cooking.
There you go.
And then when he tasted them, he was like, damn. And so now when he eats vegetables, he only eats them from me because I'm the only person that can make them the way he likes them. But so and he's pretty much plant-based in the house unless he goes out and gets his own food. But I don't cook no meat.
You see, in the whole plant-based vegan movement has really come a long way since, you know, the rice cakes and all of that back in the 70s and 80s, because being a vegan back then was extremely difficult. Nowadays, and especially for us in Atlanta, like we got full-blown vegan restaurants all over the metro area.
Uber
and you
Eats.
Damn near think you eating like soul food because the food is so flavorful.
Yeah.
And you think you eating meat because it's so filling. You know what I mean? And so you don't have to sacrifice that satisfying feeling, and you can still be vegan. That's a part of what, you know, causes a lot of people not to be able to be successful with the lifestyle because they feel like they're going to always be hungry. No, that's not the case.
I'm not always hungry. I mean, I'm hungry now because I'm fasting, but for the most part, I am not always hungry. I probably eat once, maybe twice a day.
See what I mean?
Being plant-based. But when I ate meat, and I was telling my husband that, I was like, think about it. When you have a steak on your plate and you have green beans and you have rice, what do you eat first? He goes, the steak. I said, now that I've taken that out of your diet and you eat vegetables now when you have a steak in front of you, you eat the vegetables first.
Because that's, you just reprogram
You're
yourself.
reprogramming yourself. And two, I forgot my train of thought. It's the fasting. Go ahead.
No, that's how it starts. And so we move from having that portion of animal protein to now incorporating more fruit and vegetables, and that becomes what we feel on. You see what I mean? To the point to where we're getting what our bodies need, so we no longer crave the meat. A lot of times what the body is dealing with, and this is where the moringa comes in, the issue of weight is an issue of lack of nutrients. I know sometimes it's hard to think that a person that's dealing with a weight issue is actually malnourished, but that's actually what's happening. Malnourished doesn't mean a lack of food. Malnourished simply means a lack of nutrients. So the person is eating a lot of food, but they're not getting adequate nutrients. So as a result of that, the body stores fat because the body actually thinks that it's starving because it doesn't have, the proper amount of nutrients. So when you give the body the nutrients that it needs, the body is now able to relax and say, hey, I no longer need to hold on to this fat. The body is not stressed. You're giving it what it needs, so you begin to lose weight naturally. That's the way you lose weight and keep it off, by giving the body what it needs. And that's where the moringa comes in. It gives the body 100% of the vitamins, minerals, and nutrients that we need on a daily basis.
And I like that it's very pure.
It's 100% organic.
It's 100% organic. It's pure. It lists right here on the back.
All of the ratios.
All of the ratios. I mean, calcium, fiber, magnesium. So my next thing that I'm investing in are ghost vegan kitchens.
Great investment.
Uber Eats, DoorDash, all these companies are literally going to restaurants who are already functional and saying, hey, I know you're on Uber Eats, but can you create an off-site ghost kitchen where either we will, you can go and rent this little space and prepare only vegan food for vegan plant-based people who don't have access to it. When I tell you it's booming right now.
It is booming.
It's booming. And when I make my smoothies in the morning, I've had this same pack of moringa since I last saw you.
See?
Because you only need a
little bit.
I have a little, it's a little scoop, right?
Right, yeah.
I use it, even though this has magnesium, I take a separate magnesium supplement, right? because that's good for depression and easing the muscle.
Absolutely.
Yeah, mood enhancement and stuff. And I use that same scoop and I scoop it, level it off, put it in my smoothie, put my magnesium, shoot my olive leaf, and then all my greens and my berries. Yep. I don't even do bananas no more in my smoothies. I don't do any. I want to make sure that I'm getting the most, especially when I break my fast. Absolutely. I break my fast with the moringa and cilantro.
And that's how you do it, because again, going through the fast, you know that your body is now giving up certain things that you have to reintroduce the nutrients. And so the beauty of the moringa is that it's not just moringa, it's also cilantro, right? And so the cilantro actually is a detoxifier, especially for the liver and kidneys. So it's kind of like that 1-2 combination. You're giving the body the nutrients that it needs, but also eliminating the toxins, especially the heavy metal toxins. With folks that are maybe pescatarian, they tend to have high levels of mercury in their blood, right? That mercury takes a long time to be eliminated from the body. The cilantro helps speed that up. So people who eat a lot of fish and seafood, they tend to have higher levels of mercury than people who don't.
That's what fucked up my thyroid.
That's the number one.
To be
issue.
Honest with you. Right. Now, you have the olive leaf extract gel. I don't know how to say that word. The alloprian. Is that how I say that word?
European.
Old European.
That's the active ingredient.
Oh, it does say Old European. All this time I've been trying to pronounce this word. Look at me. Learning something today. Going to school. Now, this is for internal and like topical use. So if you have open sores, I know like my aunt, rest her soul, diabetes, she could not heal her body from the inside out to save her life. And every time I look at her picture, I'm like, damn, if she would have just had this. I mean, there are Australians making videos, white people, saying that they've came off their medication by taking the olive leaf, which is, and I want you to, in case I'm messing up, please feel free to jump in, which is the leaf. Like everybody is saying, eat olives, eat olives. Okay, well, olives are fatty, even though they say the oil is good, but extracted in whole form like that, it's not as healthy, right? It's not. But they're pushing that. It's the Mediterranean diet. It's the olive leaf. It's the plant that sticks when you have the olive sticking out and those leaves, and this is what you comprise. This is what you extract from.
That's what we extract. First, we pull the medicine out of the leaf first.
Okay.
And then we isolate the active ingredient from the rest of the compound. And so that's 100% of the active ingredient in gel form. So it's highly concentrated. That it's sticky like glue. That's 100% Old European. Nothing else in it. Right, so we've extracted it from the leaves, and then we've isolated it from the other ingredients, and it's in gel form. Now, that's about 10 times more potent than the liquid.
How much of this is in one bottle of this?
About 1 milliliter.
What?
Yes, about 1 mil. But the thing is, because it's in gel form, we recommend like men that are suffering from end-stage prostate cancer, colorectal cancer.
Put it in.
Yes, and we deal with it's medicine at the end of the day. People that may be dealing with HSV breakouts, the herpes breakouts, lesions and sores on the exterior, using it that way. Wow. Okay, and so
one of the celebrities I report on, I should mail
it has
this.
A multitude of different uses. I leave it at that. Okay, but again, for the internal issues that we tend to deal with, especially the big three. Okay. High blood pressure, cholesterol, and diabetes, that's where the liquid comes in, because the liquid does not have to be metabolized by the stomach. It gets absorbed right into the bloodstream and goes
And I want to mention lupus. I get emails every day about people. First of all, you can manage lupus with a plant-based diet, right?
Absolutely.
But combining this, which is a plant, the moringa and the cilantro is a plant.
Yep.
It really just, I know a girl who's had lupus since she was 20 years old. She's never had a flare-up.
See?
She looks up, if I showed you what she looks like, because lupus helps you, it makes you age faster, it makes you look swollen.
Yeah, because the immune system is steady attacking the body.
Right.
And that's what, lupus is.
You would never even know she had lupus.
Yeah,
she doesn't eat meat.
Autoimmune disease.
And she has certain herbs that she takes, olive leaf extract to be one of them. I think she put me on the olive leaf before you came.
Okay.
But I was just like, girl, I ain't got no lupus. I don't need to take that. But when you came and I tried it, and Shek was like, you got to try it, Josh. You got to try it. And I've been on it ever since.
Absolutely.
I think it was like maybe 2 months after you signed your contract, I've been taking this religiously.
See? And that's the beauty. We've been helping people with lupus for so long. A lot of our clients then forgot they even had lupus. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And for those of you who may be dealing with lupus or know somebody who is, we recommend the maximum formula specifically for lupus, because lupus people have the additional benefits of the phytonutrients, those essential nutrients that we need but may not get enough of due to our diet, due to the standard American diet.
And sickle cell.
Absolutely. It works wonders for sickle cell as well.
I've had emails, and I'm going to put these emails out in case people trying me, for real. Because they be like, yeah. No, I'm going to put them out. I think I'm going to start posting. No, I'm going to start posting. When I post you on my Instagram or on the YouTube community feed, I'm going to put the bottle besides the email that came in with the person's email. So if people want to email that person and ask them if it's true, it's true. Girl, email said, I haven't, I usually go into a crisis every 3 to 4 weeks.
Yep.
She said, since I started taking the olive leaf, it's been 2 months. I haven't
had any.
I haven't had a crisis, and when you go into crisis
with sickle cell, it can be deadly.
They don't know if they're coming out.
They don't know if they're coming out. Absolutely.
So I'm like, listen, even if you weren't advertising this, if you weren't a partner, I would still be pushing it.
Right.
I would be like, DJ, make me a brand ambassador. Just make me a brand ambassador. Pay me a portion of what I sell. That's it. I'm telling you, because I believe in it so much.
Absolutely.
And even if you weren't paying me, I would still tell people that came to me asking, Tasha, I'm on my last leg. I don't know what to do. Please get me in contact with Dr. Saber. You don't need Dr. Saber, call DJ.
Right. Yeah, no, I definitely appreciate it. And I just want to, with that being said, just kind of give the rundown of what we generally recommend.
Let me move this out the way so they can see.
This is the olive leaf extract original formula. So high blood pressure, cholesterol, diabetes is generally what we recommend in terms of the original formula.
Okay.
Right? Now, people who may be dealing with rheumatoid or osteoarthritis, lupus, sickle cell, Parkinson's disease, multiple sclerosis, Lou Gehrig's disease, different things like that, we tend to recommend the maximum formula because it has more of the active ingredient, but it's also combined with those phytonutrients. Okay. So while this bottle takes 30 days to make, this is a 60-day extraction, so you have more of the active ingredient in this bottle. This is why it's so much more effective. Okay. But again, for high blood pressure, diabetes, and cholesterol, the original formula is most of the time all that you would need. So don't think you have to spend the additional money for the maximum, because I know psychologically it's like, well, if I get the best one, then it, no. The original formula is just as effective. And then with the olive leaf extract gel, like I said, for different types of skin issues. Oh, also eczema, original formula.
Yes.
Whether it's childhood eczema or adult eczema, the original formula. Be consistent when you're taking the product for eczema, because eczema is caused by the body's allergic reaction to wheat. People who have eczema have a wheat allergy. That's what they're dealing with. And so I don't care if anybody's tried to sell you any topical creams, ointments, or things. Eczema is an internal issue that simply shows up on the skin. So you treat eczema internally. That's why with children, when you give them a half a teaspoon of olive leaf, mix it with a little bit of water, over time you will see that baby's skin clear up in no time.
That's good to know. Okay. Now, and these are the larger bottles, of course, just in case you don't want the small. I prefer the larger bottle, but I take the maximum formula, okay? Every time DJ send me the original, I'm like, why'd you send me the original? I say I need the maximum formula. And then how would you suggest, I guess, someone, when they order the moringa and the cilantro, do you suggest a detox as well, or just adding this to their soups, to their... just dressings, things like that? How do you...
Absolutely.
Smoothies.
Number one, we always recommend a detox.
Okay.
We all detox.
Now, when you say detox, because see, when I think of detox, I think of fast. Like, I'm going through a detox now, I'm fasting, right? So are you saying detox with eating nothing but, I guess, plant-based foods? Explain a detox. So when they get it, they know how to really feel the effects of it.
Now, that's a great question.
Okay.
There's a difference between detoxing and fasting.
Okay.
Fasting is when you abstain from food and you allow the body's natural digestive system and cleansing system to do what it does naturally. Okay. So fasting, you will expel all of the toxins out of your body over time, naturally, just by staying away from certain foods, just drinking water or, juice and things like that. Now, detoxing is when you do the same thing, but you implement a supplement to help aid in that detoxification process. Okay, so detoxing is fasting sped up.
Oh,
that's the difference.
Okay.
So fasting, it may take 15 days to fully cleanse in a fast. You can do a detox and get the same results in 5 to 7 days because you're implementing a supplement that actually helps speed up that detoxification process.
Well, he teaching me something today because I didn't know.
Yeah, that's the difference.
See, I didn't know. I just do my little 5 day. You know what I'm saying?
And that's why we recommend going through the 7-day detox.
Yeah.
Because not only are you and see, with our detox, you're not abstaining from all food. You're eating fruits and vegetables, right? Nuts, grains, things like that. Okay. But you're also implementing the olive leaf extract, okay, to really speed up that cleansing process. Because a lot of us don't have the discipline to go a full 2 weeks on a fast. That takes its toll.
I do it for spiritual reasons.
Right, and that's important too. But
you know,
most
and
people
for my
gotta
body.
build up to that point. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So some people will call and say, you know, I'm doing 2 weeks. And they've never detoxed or fasted before.
They'll be
and
right
that
the
third
road
day,
crawling.
they be like, they calling me crying like, I can't do it. I can't do it. Because now your body is actually shedding all of the toxins, and you're actually going through a chemical withdrawal. Like it's deep. You know what I mean? And so you become irritable. You start craving certain things. You don't want to be bothered with nobody. You going off on the children because now the body is going through a chemical response as it readjusts itself to life without, we think we eating food, but we're actually consuming a whole lot of dope, to be quite honest with you.
I cured my sugar addiction through fasting.
That's how you do it.
Yes.
That's how you do it.
I had to. I had a sugar addiction so bad that if I didn't want to eat something, I had to put it in the trash and put bleach on it.
See?
That's how bad my sugar addiction was. I mean, I grew up, it was an abundance amount of sugar. We ate sugar from cereal. I didn't eat milk, so I ate more cereal. Right. Because the milk is supposed to get you full, but milk still has sugar in it. Right. You know what I'm saying? The Roman noodles, I mean, all that. People don't think that's sugar. It converts to sugar. Exactly. The little Debbie cakes, the pasta, hamburgers with
the breads, all
that shit. Like, and so, you know, a lot of people could see a cake and not eat it. I would eat the entire cake.
The cravings. Yeah, sugar is a real addiction.
And I'm thinking as a kid, that shit is normal because, you know, you're supposed to like sugar, right? No.
I remember seeing a video of a child being born. And one of the things that, I don't know if they still do it now, but back then they would give children, newborn babies, sugar water, right? Immediately out of the womb. And I remember seeing a video of this child being born fresh out the womb. They wrapped the child up, you know, clean the baby up. And the nurse had a little bitty droplet and put some sugar water in the baby's mouth. And immediately you see this newborn child like, that's how much of a drug sugar is, where it sent a jolt upon contact with that baby. And the baby developed more than likely a sugar craving from there on out.
Yeah.
You see, because it affected the baby like a drug. That's
People
how
don't
powerful
get how
sugar is.
Powerful it is. I've been through it.
So being able to successfully wean yourself off of sugar, that's a very deep thing. That's a very deep thing because sugar is found in damn near everything in the Western diet. And people complain, and I get it because they don't understand the bitters, right? Bitters are common in like the Caribbean islands, in Africa. People grow up on bitters. In America, we're used to salt, sugar, and fat. That's how we flavor everything, mainly with those three things. And we never get to the point of experiencing the benefit of bitters. So when a person takes olive leaf, they're surprised because they've never tasted something that bitter.
Yeah.
And they're like, this is nasty. It's not that it's nasty. Your palate has just never experienced anything bitter in your life.
Yeah.
You're used to everything being sweet, hence the reason why diabetes is out of control. You see? Yeah. And so on another note, slightly related, when we eat the fast food, I was driving through Southwest Atlanta a couple days ago. I saw a fast food restaurant, and directly across the street, I saw a dialysis clinic. And I saw people literally walking from the dialysis clinic across the street to the fast food restaurant. And I said, from a monetization standpoint, whoever put that dialysis clinic there is making millions of dollars because they have a revolving door.
And the fast food restaurant at that.
As well. And I just found out that Warren Buffett has a significant stake in DaVita Healthcare, which is the #1 dialysis clinic across America. So these people getting paid off our demise. You see, and diabetes and having to go on dialysis is completely preventable through the change of diet. You know how debilitating being on dialysis 3 times a week is?
I just couldn't imagine.
For 3 hours a day?
Functioning with them draining you.
Removing your blood and running it through a machine because your kidneys no longer operate, right? And so the average dialysis person, their insurance gets billed about $25,000 a month. That's how much dialysis costs. So we can't complain about the cost of olive leaf extract or any other herbal, remedy.
Yeah.
When you keep it in perspective. You see, so these people are becoming damn near trillionaires off of our ignorance. And so we're just here to simply advocate for holistic wellness, taking control of our individual health and not turning that most sacred part over to people that we don't know.
My aunt had open heart surgery. I kid you not. She was a diabetic, had open heart surgery twice, and it was breast cancer that took her. Like, she lived all these years with all those other things. It was breast cancer that took her. But I remember after her open heart surgery, and they asked her what her first meal, basically gave her a menu. They only had steak, burgers, pork chops. Of course, she ordered the pork chops and gravy with mashed potatoes and green beans and some Jell-O.
See?
And, seeing that at the time, I'm thinking, okay, she's eating. That's good. I'm ignorant. I have no idea about health. I'm 17 years old. And to now look back on that system, the very hospital that claims that they're saving your life was giving you the food that clogged your arteries.
Tasha, if we understood, see, a part of what this work causes me to do is talk to our clients on the phone. I be on the phone sometimes for hours with her. Even though the business has grown exponentially over the last 5 years, I still believe in that personal touch right now. I can't engage in a robust conversation with everybody every day, but there are certain clients that when they call, I know I have to take the time to explain to them how this healthcare system works or this healthcare business works. And I walk them through. When you go to a hospital, let's just say you're having some discomfort in your body, you go to the hospital and you give your information to the receptionist or whatever. What do? They give you a clipboard to fill out, right? All your information. And then oftentimes there's a medical waiver and some type of consent form that you have to sign. So they getting you to consent to certain things that will hold them harmless from a liability standpoint. You see? So they're protected. Who's protecting the customer, the client, the patient? Who's advocating for them? Yeah. See, if a hospital takes all of these safeguards to ensure that they're not held liable for what they give you or what they do to you, you have to have somebody who actually knows how this system works to advocate for you because you're in the most vulnerable position.
Yeah.
You don't know these people. You don't have a relationship with these people, and they're dealing with so many other patients. They don't even have time to talk to you about what it is that you're dealing with. It's just simply a prescription. So now your doctor is basically a pharmacist. All they do is write prescriptions all day and keep it moving. You see?
They're told, they go, I was like, why don't people just become pharmacists at this point?
They're all doing the same thing.
Yeah.
They're all doing the same thing. And that's by design because the pharmaceutical industry has totally taken over the medical industry. It used to not be that way.
Yeah.
It was a separation.
But they did a lot of lobbying.
A lot of lobbying. This is why when you look at mainstream television, every other commercial is a pharmaceutical commercial. You see, it's so they're already programming us to accept medication. No, diet, what you consume, is your number one pharmacist first.
And
after that, if there's an issue, then supplements. Yeah. You see? But do not allow these people to overly medicate you, because again, it's just a money grab oftentimes. These issues and diseases that we suffer from can be totally preventable with the change in diet and implementing supplements in our daily lives.
And I wholeheartedly agree with you, and I'm glad that you said it the way that you said it. I mean, we've had numerous people on the platform talking about, supplements and herbs, and you got to understand, like, a lot of the pharmaceutical companies, they will take something like the olive leaf, right? And they will use such a small amount, right? It's just like, how can I explain it? And they will give you just a small amount over time.
Yep.
So yeah, it makes you feel better for the moment, but they're taking...
But it's not solving the issue.
But it's not solving the issue. But if they were to give it to you in concentrated form, you wouldn't come back to it.
You wouldn't come back. Right.
They're operating just like the crack dealers on the street.
Absolutely. So that revolving door is absolutely necessary, outside of the fact that when you see these commercials run with all of the side effects, oftentimes the side effects is worse than the issue that you're dealing with. Yeah. And then while the person is tiptoeing through the flowers and holding hands with the grandchildren, they giving you all of these negative side effects as a distraction. You know what I'm saying? They showing you the image of this robust person walking, tiptoeing through the tulips while they describing all of the issues that's going to kill your ass. And you're supposed to not hear that for the sake of watching this woman walking through her grandchildren through a flower patch. You see what I'm saying? And so it's all a system that's designed to, like I said, extract as much money from you and ruin your life. Because if you understood the phone calls that we get, let me say this. My oldest or eldest client is my maternal grandmother, who will be 100 years old in April of next year. My second oldest client is a lady by the name of Darlene Carter out of Chicago, 96 years old. So if my maternal grandmother can take olive leaf and she's damn near 100 and it's keeping her around, she ain't had COVID, nothing. 100 years old, Tasha, born in 1922. You see? And she's still here because she listened to her grandson. You see? And she'll call and say, baby, send me some of that stuff. Yes, ma'am. It's on the way. And she's still here. And Darlene Carter, 96 years old in Chicago, still here. Both of these women are in their right mind, able to hold conversations, laugh, joke, the whole night. I know that it will do wonders for us in our generation. You know what I mean? Yeah. And that's what we're here to do. Get off the pharmaceutical cycle in the industry of death and embrace life. That's what I'm here to advocate.
Yeah, I mean, where I grow up, you hear people at 30, I ain't got too much long. I feel like I'm a die. My mama, that is like the nature of her conversation. I ain't going to be here too much longer. You're 56 years old.
See, young.
I will not be saying
50
that.
next year.
I will, and DJ, you don't look a bit over 25.
I'll be 50 years old
25.
August of next year. But it's just a testament to the lifestyle and the products that we implement in our daily lives. Yeah. And you know my family dynamics and the work that I do, you know what I mean, on that level. So I need olive leaf because I be, having to work.
Yeah.
Multiple kind of ways, you know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, what we're offering is an opportunity for our community to take control of their own individual health and not trust that most sacred part of ourselves, our bodies, over to people that we don't know, have not established any type of relationship with us, and have not earned our trust. And hell, that we can't really have a conversation with because they too damn busy. Health is truly our wealth at the end of the day. So if you can't get Big Mama, go to Target or Walmart or whatever, we always got olive leaf that you can bless Big Mama with.
I love it. And for those that are asking, like, what I'm going to do for the holidays as far as food, vegetables.
Absolutely.
Vegetables. Field peas, greens, the same thing. Your yams, no sugar. Yams are sweet already.
And you can throw down with those foods to where you don't even miss no turkey, no ham.
I ain't even worried about it. I got a little mini turkey coming for them. Right. But for me, Oh, vegetables.
And you're going to rock out. You're not going to miss nothing.
All day. That's how I lived. I'm telling you, like 15, 16 years of my life. And the reason we were raised plant-based is because we couldn't afford
that's how it used to be back in my grandmother's day.
You one piece of steak every 2 weeks, and we didn't get it.
One piece of chicken every other week. Yeah. And that was the treat. Yeah. You know what I mean? And it was probably a wing.
And you notice they lived a lot longer.
A lot longer because again, they were basically plant-based back then.
Yeah.
Because they couldn't afford meat. And so they loaded up on the fruits, vegetables, the beans and things because they grew their own food.
There was a test done during World War II. Mm-hmm. And I don't know if you remember that test. In Europe, right? Mm-hmm. They said that in Europe, everybody was suffering from cholesterol, heart problems, all sorts of things, diabetes. But when the war started and they couldn't source cattle, okay, or fish or anything because the borders were closed, they were forced to grow their own foods. And they saw a staggering numbers of increase in like health and longevity. People weren't dying as fast because of that 3 to 4 year period of people abstaining from meat. And then when it came back, it was so expensive. People didn't rush to get it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And so, I mean, of course, that kept flu out. That kept, swine flu, coronavirus, colds and everything when you eating plants. And people don't even understand. You got, especially in North Carolina, big pig farms, right?
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Now, I've never eaten pork, so for those I've never eaten it. I just eating a pig is just like eating a human body. I can't do it.
Yeah, if you ever drove by a trailer on the highway or expressway with pigs in it, it'll damn near cause you to run off the road. You know what I mean? And so we just got to get off. The death cycle and embrace life, and that's really what I'm here to advocate.
And a lot of times
whether a person ever
cured.
buys olive leaf extract or not, learn how your body works and implement the things that contribute and aid your overall well-being, and you'll live a long time. Exercise, fruits, vegetables, nuts, grains, water, because most of us are walking around dehydrated and don't even know it, right? Sunshine, the summer months, we should be in the sun. All this, I don't want to get too dark. No, get dark.
Yeah.
That's what the melanin is for. Get dark. Because the getting dark is going to keep you healthy. You see? Yeah. And then when the fall and winter months come, then that's when the supplements help aid in keeping your immune system robust so that you don't fall susceptible to the flu and upper respiratory infections and all that things, those types of things that tend to happen as a result of lack of sunlight and overindulging in unhealthy foods.
Thank you. Like I said, I can have you here all day just spilling knowledge, okay?
Thank you.
Please, the link will be below so that you can order all of the products, okay? It's always been there for the last 3.5. I think we're almost, 3.5, 4
Yeah, I think we're over 3 years now.
Yeah, like that.
Yeah, and it's been a beautiful relationship.
Yes, no, I'm like I said, I'm a proud ambassador to your product. So, like I said, I tell everybody about it. When people come to my house, I'm fixing them like little gift bags. If I have extra, I give them that, and they're like, "Oh my God, I see you talk about this on the channel all the time. Does it really work?" And I'm like, "Yes, it works.
It does.
I would not give you anything that doesn't work." So, thank you.
Follow us on social media: Instagram, My Olive Leaf. Facebook, My Olive Leaf.
All right. Thank you. This is all mine. No, I'm playing. No, I'm not. Thank you, DJ.
Absolutely.
I appreciate it. All
Thank
right.
you.
I appreciate it.